Um, so, third article. I swear these will get like more bearable and shorter videos as time goes on, because my articles just get shorter versus longer. So, okay, third article, and it's called Recovery Lighthouse by Raquel. Paper. Okay, trigger warning, mental health and suicide is discussed in this article, and I'll put a trigger warning in the beginning of the video. Recovery. The value which I and many others work toward that guides us to mental wellness and brighter days. Recovery is a complex, beautiful, annoying, difficult, and rewarding journey that is defined differently by each person who embarks on its marvelous process. While unique to each individual, recovery does have some commonalities. Recovery is not a linear process. It'd be freaking amazing if it was, and I would totally be down for that, but it's not. Moving forward in recovery requires recognizing that the journey will have its rough spots. Some days are better than others, and some moments are harder to bear. Recovery is more like a jagged high and low mountain range. A relapse and a lapse are two different things. If I lapse in my recovery from self-harm, it means, oh shoot, I made a mistake, that sucks, but I'm going to stick back to recovery and continue moving forwards. A relapse, however, is depicted more as, well damn, here I go all over again, screw it, I might as well just keep on self-harming. Relapses and lapses are a part of recovery. Remember, recovery is not a linear process. A person may go through setbacks before they become the awesome captain of their ship, able to steer almost flawlessly around threatening rocks and getting through the eye of the storm with their crew intact. Setbacks are okay because that's how we learn. These are essentially the basics of recovery, and because I'm the one writing this article, let me share with you my experiences thus far about the matter. I still am unclear on how I define my own recovery. It's a difficult question to answer succinctly with purpose and accuracy. Yet for me, I suppose that may be the right depiction for the start of my recovery. It was murky, unclear, and filled with unknowns and lack of expectations. Recovery to me means living with obsessive-compulsive disorder. In case you didn't already know, I live with OCD on self-harm and suicidal obsessions. The quick version of this is that I deal with intrusive thoughts about hurting myself and depressive thoughts about hurting myself. The OCD and the secondary depression enjoy singing carols of my utter doom in my mind. That's really what I'm saying here. And yes, that's a joke. Feel free to laugh. Humor is a good coping strategy. Particularly, my recovery is about living with OCD. I repeat that because it is important to me. Living with the OCD means that I take back my life and do all that I want to achieve, while also, yes, acknowledging the presence of the OCD and how it affects my life. It means stepping away from identifying as the OCD and stepping away from the glorified pseudo-comfort the OCD and depression can give me. It means sometimes when I just want to curl into the fetal position and not move for several hours, a part of me makes myself get up and go open up that textbook to read instead. Or if I do lay in that fetal position, I bring some tunes along with me so it's not as lonely. This part of my recovery definition is essential and also overwhelming. Living with OCD means I have to live with the OCD. It means I don't get to act out on compulsions of scratching myself, which is wonderful, of course, don't get me wrong. But when the struggles peak for me, a part of me just wants nothing more than to hurt myself. Except I've learned that that compulsion is a lie. That rather than it taking away the thoughts, it just makes them come back tenfold. And somehow this knowledge makes the situation feel worse. My recovery journey began around March 2015. After my second hospitalization let out, I finally got a psychiatrist and began taking a different round of medications. I wore a rubber band on my sleeve because my therapist mentioned it could be used as a visual deterrent from my self-harm. It was a reminder that I would see before I acted on my thoughts and would serve as a barrier for me to consider my next choice of action. I would write "stay safe" on my wrists and pen because that phrase gives me a warm and fuzzy feeling inside. I knew I could use the phrase as a prevention tactic from scratching myself. I remember the moment I realized I had begun the journey of recovery. I was walking about in the McCormick building and was thinking about sitting on a ledge when I found a part of my internal self cringing as I thought, but what does that mean? It was then that I knew both my psychiatrist and therapist would be displeased to find out, when I inevitably told them, that I had gone outside to sit on a ledge in a suicidal state of mind, rather than coping positively and effectively by any other number of actions. It was my capability of weighing that future predicament that I hadn't been able to muster within myself for 4 months. Speaking of that duration of time, I lasted nearly 4 months before I relapsed with self-harm at the end of June and beginning of July. On July 2nd, 2015, I began my current recovery milestone. My goal is to make it to a year clean. I'm holding myself to that. I will mention that I did lapse once during this current stint, and may set myself to looser standards after I make it past a year. But for now, that is my main motivation. Additionally, I'm still in the process of coming to terms with my jagged mountain range recovery. A part of my journey involves feeling the two different parts of me at the same time. I can be proud of myself for not acting on my thoughts, and I can also be extremely enraged that I'm not acting on those same thoughts. Sometimes a part of me doesn't want to be self-harm free. Sometimes I consider acting on those thoughts of suicide again. Yet as of right now, I know my true values don't align with the OCD. I know that I cannot act on both the suicidal thoughts and be alive to share my story. Life just doesn't work that way. I know the OCD is filled to the brim with bullshit and lies that just aren't any reflection of reality. Despite my knowing this, it doesn't make the venom in its words hurt any less, and it doesn't make my pain any less real. Still, however, recovery is possible. Maybe the OCD will change topics one day. Maybe I'll wrestle better with its claws and sharp teeth. Maybe I'll learn to dance with it more than I am struggling against it. For now, that part of the story hasn't been written. I tend to think I'm still a novice at my own mental health experience, having been through the desperation and recovery within the same year. I'm not sure where my mind has plans to take me, but I know that if I don't like where it's going, I can change the map. If I want to head in its direction, that choice is up to me as well. I like to remind myself that I have choices and I have options. Recovery is my stepping stone to a better day that's ahead. Recovery is the lighthouse through which the beams are peeking through the stormy clouds. Recovery is sharing my story and bringing meaning and purpose into my life where a year ago I struggled to find them. Recovery is that beautiful, annoying, bittersweet, and amazing journey that I both hate and that I'm already on, and love that I am on it so soon. Recovery is unique and special to each of us. May you look forward to brighter days that come your way. Stay safe. This is good practice for me reading aloud and stuff. I'll try to make more eye contact as I continue reading them. I haven't actually read any of these again, so it's interesting to read them over for like the first time again and then kind of listen to them later. So yeah. I'll probably make a video of like my thoughts on the matter of like reading them over again and like what that's like and stuff like that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this isn't helpful, inspiring, brings you hope, anything like that. Stay safe. Recovery is possible. See you in the next video.